Hi, YouTube. Thank you for finding my channel. I'm a little overwhelmed by all the messages that I've received in the past few days for the people that have seen the videos for my son Quinn. They got found, and so I just thank you for the attention, the support. Anybody that's offered to help, I just really appreciate it. Uh, I have been looking for my son for a while. I have not really had much help from my family. We have fundamental agreements on the nature of the situation. My mom is in the camp of she thinks that this is more of an estrangement situation, and I am in the belief that this is alienation, which is probably one of the reasons why this has gone on as long as it has. I do not believe that a 12-year-old boy could make a conscious decision to cut a parent out of his life, a healthy parent out of their life, and just go no contact after having a loving relationship with that parent, and just never not say goodbye. No, just know nothing. It never made sense to me as his mom. I know what our relationship was like. I can't let this go. It doesn't feel right to me. And every time I try to bring it up to my parents, I need their support. I do. Like, I feel like without their help, I don't feel like I'm ever going to get him back because I am being pushed back against by them. They keep telling me, don't go, don't do it, don't do it. And they keep saying he will just come back on his own, and he's not coming back on his own. And this is what I keep trying to tell them. He's not going to come back on his own. And when they first went no contact, my mom was saying, look, I talked to him and he says he doesn't want to see you. And I said, but he's getting this from his dad. This is what you don't understand, Mom. And so she believes that he would not say that unless he had a justified reason. And this is where we are at a complete and total impasse. And she just won't hear it. And because she has a degree in psychology, she is completely blinded by the fact that she believes she's completely right. She was not there. She doesn't know me and my relationship with my son. We were living in the Bay Area. She was in Southern California. And it's just, there is so much stigma, especially for the years that I was working and being the other parent, where he was the full-time custodial parent. There was so much stigma on me as far as like, ooh, what did you do? You must have done something. Like, and my ex took that shit and ran with it. Like, it was very pathogenic parenting. I had to fight so many times to be like, you need to put me as the emergency contact on his paperwork. Like, you need to stop telling people that I'm not involved. And it was a constant battle there. This is the way that things worked out. We had, without going too much into it, I gave him physical custody and I retained legal custody. And it was at a situation where I was like 24, 25 years old, and I was kind of between a rock and a hard place where he said, look, if you don't do this, I'm going to continue to take you to court and you're going to lose everything. And I know you don't have money. I know you don't have a lawyer. But, once you get stable and on your feet and, we'll just, things will go back to the way they were. And the reason this is because I had dated a guy that was stalking me at the time, and that's what was going on. And I didn't want to put anybody in any risk, and I had ended a relationship. This is the last time I would ever get in a relationship with anybody that was not healthy. But it was a fatal mistake to my custody situation because I had thought I was actually making a strategic relationship decision by getting in the relationship with this guy because he had a family member that was a lawyer. He worked for the federal government. He loved my son, and I thought he was going to protect me. And he ended up being the worst guy ever. And it completely backfired on me. I thought I was gonna, get married and get in this situation where I looked better on paper. It was a very stupid decision of my youth. Completely backfired on me. And so just know this. Don't ever try to make strategic moves when you are in a custody battle sometimes like that, because I felt like I was desperate and I didn't have any other options. Like I said, my family is the kind of family that it's like when you're 18, you're on your own. If you have a baby or whatever, that's it. You made your bed, you lie in it. That's my family. That's the way I grew up. We just have a very different way. Patrick's family was just like, they did everything for him. He had a golden spoon in his mouth. Very different type of family. And they would, his dad would go to bat for him for everything. So, but my family was like, well, I guess you just got to figure this out. So I was fucked. Anyways, so I signed my physical rights over. And at that point, throughout the years, Patrick moved to Florida. I moved back up to the Bay Area because I'm not going to follow him around wherever he goes. And this just doesn't make any good logical sense. I'm just going to put my roots down somewhere where I can make a lot of money. And eventually, hopefully, he'll come to me. And that's what eventually ended up happening. So in 2011, they moved out there. And he asked me, he said, look, we're going to move out to you. And can you help us and get a place and a job? And I was like, absolutely. This is what I've been waiting for. And I'm willing to put aside all my personal feelings for you, Patrick, for everything that you've done, and I will be friends with you and everything, and we will do this. I will move mountains to get my son out here. So that's what happened. And for 2 years, we did a co-parenting thing, and things were really good. They were really good, and my son was so happy, and he had good grades, and he had lots of friends, and Walnut Creek, California is a really great place to raise kids, and it's a great community. And I was working in the city, and it just, at the end of that point, it's like just things started to shift. Patrick's lease was coming up. There's a few things that happened. I ended up getting laid off from my job. And there was just a few things that just started to shift. In a few months before Patrick went no contact, Quinn went no contact, he just started acting different. His mood started to change. He started to give me a lot of attitude, and I didn't know what was wrong. He started saying things like, why should I respect you? And I didn't know where that was coming from. And we didn't ever have there was no swearing in the house. There was never spanking or any of that. Whenever he had his time with me, it was filled with fun and going out to dinner and riding horses or going to the pool, and I tried to make it as open as possible so he could talk about the things that, and I was a very loving and affectionate mom. I just loved to snuggle him and pet his hair. And I just, we just had a really loving relationship. And it was just there was just this shift that happened where he just started being it's scowling all the time. Nothing can make him happy. And I didn't know why he was being so mean to me. And it really hurt. Part of me just kind of chalked it up to puberty. Maybe he's just going through puberty, whatever. But then, when he said why should I respect you? I didn't know where that was coming from. Later, my mom told me that he had told her he thought I was a prostitute. And I'm thinking, so something was going on at that time that he was thinking, and I'm thinking it was coming from his dad, and I don't know why. Like I said, this was leading up to the going no contact. It came to my weekend to come pick him up, and I got a message from his dad saying he doesn't want to see you anymore. And he doesn't want to see you for at least a year. That was the message. It was just bizarre, and it was strange, and I did not see it coming. There was no hint of it. So I was in shock. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I tried to contact Quinn and he didn't answer his phone. I tried to text him. I tried to call him. He didn't answer. And now I'm panicking. I said, I'm going to call the police. I told Patrick, I'm going to call the police. I have my visitation. And he then called my mom because he knew that flying monkeys, if you know anything about narcissists, that's flying monkeys. So he called my mom, had her come in and get in the way. My mom goes and talks to Quinn. Quinn says, no, I don't want to see her. Doesn't give any reason, just says I don't. It's just too much, he says. It's just too much for me. So we all sit around in a room and Patrick says, look, he's afraid of you. The other day we were in Target and he thought he saw you and he hid in the clothes. You're crazy. You need help. It's total bullshit. Total bullshit. Again, if you look up the criteria for alienation, parental alienation is when one parent brainwashes a child into being fearful of a healthy parent, like for no reason. And so it's just all the criteria it fit. Like it happens very quickly and it happens very suddenly. There were things that they talk about parroting the parents' language where Patrick had said over time, like baby steps, baby steps. Maybe you can have more time later when I would ask for more time. He says, baby steps, baby steps. Quinn would always say the same thing, baby steps, baby steps. So they were parenting of his dad's language. It just all of the criteria of it, of the coldly, just sort of the coldness towards me, the sudden shift in behavior. His dad would call him constantly when he was with me and interrupt my time. There was overstepping of boundaries. Before I had cats, he would always just step into my apartment, because he just did not respect my space. And so there was to me, I knew that was going to happen. Like I knew he was going to take him. I knew he was going to take him and leave and I was never going to see him again. He'd even said to me at one point when he was a baby, like, if you ever leave me, I will take him and you will never see him again. So like, I knew this was going to happen. And I'm telling my parents this, and they're not listening to me. So I have just felt so helpless. I know this is a long video, but over the years, I have felt so helpless, but I have felt so alone because I have felt like nobody has helped me. And I felt like, my parents have just been telling me, just stop, just don't do anything. And they've made me feel really like I have no reason to be doing this, that I just need to just stop and stay back, that my son is justified in not wanting to see me, and that you need to just back off, because he would never have said this unless he had a justified reason to do that. And that really hurts, that my parents don't have my back. Now, over the years, my dad has started to backpedal because he started to see it. Over the years, my dad went to try to see him down in Arizona. And when he went to go see him, Patrick showed up. He's like, I don't know why he was there. Why did he show up? I said, because he's controlling he wants to make sure you're not talking to him about me or anybody else. And after that, he went no contact. He went no contact with everyone. He went no contact with my dad. He went no contact with my mom. My mom didn't do anything to him. But my mom didn't realize over the years why my son wasn't answering her calls. And she says, yeah, it just goes straight to voicemail. And I'm like, Mom, you realize that's because you're blocked, right? And then all of a sudden it dawned on her that she was blocked too. And I'm like, do you understand now that you didn't do anything either? You didn't do anything to him. You've been blocked as well. Everybody in my family has been blocked. My sister, my dad, my mom, and even Patrick's mom has been blocked. Patrick's mom has always had my back, and she said I was a good mom. She adores me. Everybody that has challenged the narrative that Patrick has tried to give has been cut out. And it's really sad because, like I said, that's a lot of cognitive dissonance that someone has to do, mental hoops and mental hurdles to rationalize this story that mom is bad. in order to cut everyone else out, to please dad, to make dad feel good about himself, to make dad feel powerful. And someday I hope he's strong enough to get up the nerve to tell dad to fuck off, because he's going to be his own person. He's going to be his own man, and he's going to stand on his own feet. And he's going to be able to have his relationship with his family. And he can love both people. And that's okay. He can do that. But I know that there's abuse there, because there was abuse when I was there. I know how scary his dad can be, because it was scary for me. And I also know the mind fuck that was going on when I was with his dad, because he would say things to me like, nobody wants you. Nobody loves you. I'm the only one that does love you. He would say things to me like that when we were together, like, your own family doesn't even want you. And he would say things that were totally fucked up. Like, we would be going to a party and I would have the best time. And then I would get in the car and he'd be like, none of them like you, right? They were laughing at you the whole time. And I would burst into tears. And then, like, I just remember specifically his little sister, like, in the car driving by, and she was smiling at me and I had tears going down my face, because I just thought I'd had the best time. And it's because, looking back on it, he was so jealous. He was so jealous that these people were connecting to me. And what they do is they isolate people. They isolate you from everyone else. And that's what he was doing with me. He didn't want me to be connected to any of the people that could love me or could protect me. And I know he's doing the same thing to my son. And I know he's done the same thing to my son. And it's going to take a lot for him to break out of that. I really don't know what else to do. I don't even know where he is. Like I said, I even had a guy that was like a professional that finds lost children that are trafficked, try to find him. And they came back with like not much of anything. There's possibility that he's living in one of his grandfather's houses in Arizona. And that somebody else, thank you, got me an address to a place up in Oregon. Now, what do I do with that information? I have an overwhelming fear of rejection right now. This is what I need to go forward with this. I need to make sure I don't push him away any further. What do I do now? I've made videos over the years. Like, I don't know if he's seen them. I hope he does, but what should I do next? Like, should I write to these addresses? Should I write a letter? I am terrified of getting rejected. It's like, okay, imagine this. Imagine what happens when you have someone that, say, believes in something. Like imagine somebody that is a Trumper and one that's a Biden person, right? Both sides. It doesn't matter which side you're on. But imagine if you believe in one thing and then you try to tell the other side, well, I'm going to give you all the facts. How does that go? It never goes well. In fact, whenever you give the facts to the other side, they only dig their heels in further. So I feel like if I were to try to do the same thing with Quinn and say, here's all the facts, he's only going to dig his heels in further. And so that's where I'm like, I don't really know what to do, because I don't know what to do. Except wait for him to come to me and just tell him that he's loved. And I hope that he puts the pieces together on his own, that he's always been loved. I want to empower him with the strength that he is stronger than he realizes, that he is strong enough to stand on his own 2 feet, that he has family here that's willing to support him and be there for him, that he doesn't have to go through life alone. And maybe that'll be enough for him to reach out. Maybe. So I'm open to any suggestions, any ideas that you guys have. I know this has been a really fucking long video. I will try to trim it down. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support and for reaching out. There are so many other parents out there just like me that have been cut off from their kids in a very, very just like this. And there are too many stories like mine, and it's just not fair. It's not right. The court system today is fucked up. It just is. It does not benefit the kids. It favors the money, and whoever has the most money wins. And it's hard on everyone. It breaks families apart. And it's sad. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope you guys have a great day.